Wednesday, October 22nd, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. I apologize. Yesterday I had computer problems, so I was not able to produce a YouTube video. So unfortunately, I missed a day. Maybe the first one, other than being sick or on vacation, in the about 3 years, 600 plus recordings that I've done. Now, are we topping out or not? Let's take a closer look. Market got up first week or so in October, started having some reversals in some of the indexes. And by the way, I start out with indexes, go to futures, and I have a few stocks I cover as well. And started having some bearish engulfings. Not exactly the same day for every one of them. And in fact, on one of them, it's already worked fairly well. I got a buy signal on the YM. You'll see it. So no new high for the move. Yesterday, luckily, it was not particularly an important day technically, but the price range did shrink to a very small range, high to low, unusually small, losing what you could say would be losing upside momentum. I'm not able to make a new high for the trend. Today, kaboom, dropped down pretty substantially, 3 or 4 points on the spider. New low close for a few days, and in some cases, a new low for at least the last 3 days, including today, previous 2 days, or more. And in one case, the Russell, a new low close for over a week. So what about the short-term charts? And I'm showing you the 5-minute. It just kind of flattened out yesterday. A new high, but it didn't go anywhere, and it just had a very minor dip and then closed quietly. Today we started out the same kind of thing, but as soon as the regular session started, 6:30 California time, kaboom, down we go. Next, no reversal, failure to make a new high, came real close yesterday, dropping down and closing a very small, and I forgot to put a little marker on this, a very small little gap that we had from just about Monday to Friday to Tuesday, Friday to Monday. Gap is closed. Done. And the 5-minute chart, we really need to start closing below the lows that have been made on October 10th. I think that's the lowest low in every index I follow. A close below that low would drive the market further south very quickly, I would expect. Now, I'm still looking for an October low. The one on October 10th might have been it. I can't be sure yet. I don't think so. The October low might also not be in October this year. It might even be in early November. We'll see. I can't make the market do what I want it to do. You always have to move with it. So, daily data chart on the QQQ, very, very, very close to a new historic high. Couldn't do it. That was Monday, after it actually did gap up, and I don't have a little marker on the for the gap there. And that gap is closed. Also, remember, gaps are almost always closed. I did say that on my Monday recording when it gapped up. Took 2 days, not much. Closed today. The close today, relative to the range of price range for today, was around the middle. So not super weak, but still doing some damage to the bulls a little bit. But it's no downside breakout yet. We have to start closing again below the low of October 10th, which in this case is the top of the market, rally high. So far, historic high. We got an ER sell signal. 5-minute chart on the QQQ. Gap is closed. Need to start closing below 589.30. Sooner the better. Next, same kind of comment. Need to close below October 10th to really put a little bit of a top in here. And we did test some support on October 10th, bounced out of it. Not oversold, but there's the bounce. Possible double top formation in some of these indexes also. The high today and or yesterday was so close, and maybe even Monday, to the previous top just before October 10th or on October 10th that you could easily claim it to be a double top potentially, but it won't be a double top until you close below the lowest low between the two highs. Next, dropped off pretty sharply, but we got to have more weakness. Next, almost exactly the same tick for the YM, which had a bullish engulfing on October 14th. It worked okay, nothing great, but that could be the end of it yesterday. Tested resistance, historic highs, stopped cold turkey, came back down some, dropped off a chunk more today. Next, there's your 5-minute chart on the YM. The Russell, a different animal. October 15th is the top of the market, not a bearish engulfing, no signal per se, just simply new high in price, but not a new high in the indicator divergence, and right smack up against the top of the resistance area. Now we are challenging again the longer term bull trend line. So closing below today's lows should start something pretty bearish for the Russell. Now, did some damage here for a couple of days. Almost made significant new lows for the Russell, not quite. What about bonds? Bonds have gotten stronger quicker than I expected completely. I dragged this resistance line over to the right, and we almost got there. Not quite, but it's now overbought. I do expect a downside retracement of bonds, but not necessarily changing the trend. Now, we did make a new high on Friday of last week, but it couldn't hold it and closed poorly on notes. Climbing back, and today kind of running out of steam a little bit, just barely higher on the close. I think it's running out of steam and topping out. Overbought is still the highest day last Friday. Looking for a break. Crude oil ran up to resistance level, stopped today, right at resistance, and that could be it. Now, I don't mind if it gets up into resistance somewhat, but if it closes above 61.50, that could be a little bit of a different story. So from where today's high is up to about 61.50, you might see it get that high and finally turn down. But I think there's a good chance it's turning down as of today's high. Natural gas. Testing resistance right up against previous tops, which was a bearish engulfing that worked very nicely for several days in a row. Got oversold, a new low ground for the trend. Popped back up, and there's a gap. I'll put on the marker on the chart. Gaps are almost closed, always closed, so I'm expecting it to come down to close this gap and keep going. I am bearish to approximately 1.56 on the downside, a lot lower. Next, pretty good shot up in heating oil. Got up to the resistance, didn't stop, and went right back up into this flat bottomed right triangle or wedge or pennant. They're all relatives of each other. And now, are we going to get stuck in this wedge again or triangle again? I don't know. I expected it to stop at right about where it did yesterday and pull back a little bit. I'm going to pass on this for the moment. We have a bearish engulfing on the gold market, but the next day it just barely made a new high for the move. On my high day, the high was 4,392, and the next day it was 4,398. So only $6 higher on a $4,000 item, $4,300 item, $4,400 item, actually, almost. And kaboom. I like the reversal. It just that by the rules that I've established for these, it is strictly speaking failed, but boy, that's close. Looking for more downside, possibly down to 3,600, 3,550. Next, on the top of the market, the exact high day, silver came down. Today bounced a little tiny bit. I'm looking for a move down to probably at least 40.35 and maybe a bit lower than that. We had a bearish engulfing yesterday, and I missed it. I'm sorry. And platinum and 22, 21, 20. That's correct. And I don't mind the rally back up into around the middle of the range of the bearish engulfing, which it did. So I think we're going to see the next couple of days down, probably going to get down to 1350, 2, 3, 4, 5, 55 area, the lows that were made in August, September. Next, bearish engulfing did not work exactly correctly, and it's gone on Friday. Made a higher high on Monday, didn't go anywhere, starting to slip back down, and closed a little bit higher today. For copper, I am still looking for a move back down to some support at 4.7. Next, we've got soybeans holding its ground, no new high, steady to a little bit higher close. I need a close above 1080 to be very bullish. This is a good sign, though. We've got a green bullish engulfing on the exact low day on October 1st, and I told you so at the time. We've got the beginning of a big rally on this low, August 11th, and of course I mentioned it at the time, and that was a whopper for a couple of days. So I'm friendly to all the grains, as a matter of fact. Soybean oil, I wished would have stayed up and above the bear trend line, the top of the previous downward sliding channel, but now it looks like it pulled back into the channel. I could expect a little bit of a dip down to 49.20-ish, but I don't think it's going to come down that far. And I do think it's going to make a high higher than 51.70, let's call it 51.80 soon. Friendly. Next, new high close, getting more overbought on soybean meal. Now, this is challenging some important highs and staying there. This is looking a lot more interesting. First, we're going to get up, I hope, to this resistance level. I'm pulling it over to the right here. And that would be 298.40-ish. Yeah, 298.20 it looks like. But it could get there right away. A little bitty blow off top, one or two more strong days. It's already pretty darn overbought at 84.60, 70 area. If it hit 90, I'd be screaming bloody murder. Look out, it's going to turn down. Not quite there yet, but it could turn down at any point. Just as long as it holds its support and starts to make new highs soon, that's what I really want. Next, resistance is stopping soybean or corn, but we're very close to making new highs for a significant amount of time. All we got to do is get above 432, I'll say, and we're at 23, so less than 10 cents. And if it closes above 432, then you're at a new high and a new high close for probably 1, 2, 3+ months, quarter of a year. Holding its own at a bear trend line, but not closing above it yet. Wheat just starting to show some evidence of turning up. Not much. Okay. Tried to close some of the gap on the downside in Apple. Maybe a few ticks. Gaps are almost always closed. Definitely expecting 253.20, maybe tomorrow. And testing support 244 down to probably 241.25. But I actually expect it to come down more than that. I think Apple has a chance to drop off maybe as low as 215-ish. Tesla, we've got the top of the market to the exact day. Didn't we also? No, we didn't. Well, Tesla, we got it so far. Little bounce back last couple days. Monday, Tuesday slipped off. Looking for lower levels. Next, NVIDIA. Slightly lower close. Tested previous lows. Couldn't quite do the job. Bounced a little bit. Looking for a test of support to lower levels. Down to at least 171.12-ish, and more likely than not, 164.20. But that's all fairly minor, not huge support. Pretty good actually at 164-ish, but I think that's going to be reached and even lower than that. Now we have a gigantic gap on AMD, which made some nice fundamentally bullish news announcements before the market opened on October 6th. There has been some upside follow through in overbought condition. Looks like it's losing upside momentum. The highs are lower than each other. Oh, I'm at just barely higher than each other. And I'm thinking we're going to come down to 170, below 171. Next, we've got the E-mini again. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.